Hello. Hello. Hi, everyone. Good morning from Brisbane, Australia. Okay, so welcome to another Exploring IELTS with Fabi. Okay, in these lives, Exploring IELTS with Fabi, we discuss strategies that will help you get the score you need on the IELTS test, and of course, do it only once. Okay, and my name is Fabi. I'm an English teacher. I teach English at colleges and universities here in Brisbane, Australia, and I help a lot of people get the score they need on the IELTS test. Okay, hey Bruna, hi, I miss you too. Oh my god, when was the last time we saw each other? But 2 years ago now? It was a while ago. What have you been up to? Yeah, so Bruna, she was my student here in Australia, right? And then Patricia, hey, hello, hi. Lots of highs today. How are you guys? Keep saying hi. I always like to say hi back to you. Okay, guys. So yeah, so lots of people there. That's pretty cool, guys. And yeah, 3 years ago. No way. Oh my God. Send me a message. Tell me what you're up to. Because I remember that you got the new job and then we stopped meeting, right? Because you're busy with your new job. Yeah, send me a message and let me know what you're up to. And how's your dog? Because I think we just gotten your dog, right? Yeah, I remember that. I have a good memory, guys. Be careful. All right. Okay. Yeah. So today we will be talking about 5 things you should stop doing if you want to do the IELTS test only once. Okay. So that's what we're gonna talk about today. If you have any questions, pop them in here. Okay, either on YouTube or Instagram. If I don't see your question, I'll definitely go to that at the end of the live. Okay, so if you have any questions that are not really related to the topic today, that's fine too. Okay, I'll try my best to answer it. Yes, I will. My dog is really cute. I'll send you some photos. Yes, please do. I love seeing pictures of dogs. I don't know if you guys managed to see my story last week with Juju. It was a very popular story, okay, guys? Yeah, so Juju, she's so cute, man. She's 17. Can you believe it? Yeah, and it's true. I shouldn't say that if she had to do the IELTS test, she'd get a 9, the highest score. All right, okay, so as you know, one of the things that I do best is help people do the test only once, okay? I'm sick of people doing the IELTS test 10 times, 20 times, 5 times, even 3 times, okay? It's a bit too much. And that's one thing that I like to help people with, right? So today I'm going to tell you 5 things that you should stop doing if you really want to do the IELTS test only once, okay? And the suggestions I'm going to give you today, the things I'm going to talk about are actually things that I have seen from my students. Okay, so what I'm going to share with you today are the things that I see over and over again, things that are stopping people from getting the score they need, and of course do the test only once. Okay, so I just jot down some ideas here, okay, that I'm gonna share with you. But if you have questions, you can go ahead and tell me about it. All right, okay, so Jimmy, sorry, I'm a bit sick. That's why you guys haven't seen me much last week. I've been a little bit sick, but I'm getting better. Okay, my voice is a bit funny, but let's do this. If I start coughing, I apologize in advance. I'll try not to. Okay, so one of the first things you guys should stop doing if you really want to do the IELTS test only once is stop doing it alone. Okay? When you are studying by yourself, okay, one thing that I've noticed, okay, from the people who study by themselves is that it takes them longer. That's one thing. Okay, so when you're studying by yourself, it usually takes you a little bit longer. Okay. And another thing is that you don't really know what you're doing. Okay, so that's another thing that happens, okay, when you're doing it by yourself. You're not sure about what you're doing. Okay, and again, that's one reason why it takes you a little bit longer. Okay, and also when you are doing it alone, guys, I also feel that it's a little bit hard to find the right information. Not only the right information, but more the reliable information. Okay, there's lots of misinformation out there. All right, so people will tell you lots of different things about the IELTS test, and some of them, they are not really the best information that you could get. So when you're doing it alone, I think it's really hard for you to actually judge and see, okay, what it's the right thing to do, what's not so good, what's good advice, and what's bad advice. All right. So what I feel from people who have been studying by themselves is that they come to me with lots of information, and half of it is not really the best information that you could get. Okay, so and then people do it alone, and then they think they are doing the right thing, and then they do the test, they don't get the score they need, and then they look for help. All right, so again, guys, I do feel that oh, actually, I think I mentioned that before. A few weeks ago, I went to a workshop for teachers in general. Okay, here at in Brisbane. Okay, so it was a whole day just workshops for English teachers, right? And one of the sessions they were talking about the IELTS test. And then there was a person from a test center here in Brisbane, and he actually said that based on the survey that they have there at this IELTS test center, 60% of the people who do the IELTS test never practiced. Okay, so that's what he was saying. He's like, oh, sometimes people don't pass, and then we wonder why people are not getting the score they need. It's because they're not preparing. Okay, and actually, I don't know if you know, but some places, okay, when you book the test, you actually get information about the test because they want to help you. Okay, guys. So why are you doing it alone? Okay, so doing it alone, I think, will stop you from getting the score you need, and consequently, you might have to do the test more than once. Okay, so that's the first thing. Stop doing it alone. Second thing that you should be doing, actually, that you stop doing, okay, stop guessing your score. Okay, and what do I mean by that? When you do the reading part, okay, you get an IELTS test, you do the reading part, and you go ahead, check your score, and you know your score. Fine. Do the listening test. Same thing. Okay, but then what about your speaking and your writing? How are you going to know your score if you don't get feedback? I did this writing. Oh, I think this is a 5. I think this is a 6. I think this is a 7. Okay, so stop guessing your score. Start getting feedback from people. Okay, so you could look for a teacher, you could look for a friend. I don't know if your friend has experience with the IELTS test. Okay, so just look for feedback, because if you practice for the test but you don't get the feedback, okay, sometimes people can even tell you the score. Oh, this would be a 5, this would be a 6, this could be a 7 when it comes to the writing, for example. But if you don't know what you're doing wrong and how you can improve, okay, you might be stuck at that score for a very long time. Okay, so if you want to do the test only once, something you should be getting is feedback. Okay, because then when you get the feedback, you know exactly what score you would get. And then when you do the real test, okay, then you're not surprised. Okay, and then if you're getting the score you need, okay, if you're getting the right feedback, then you'll be able to do the test only once, because then you do the test and you get the score that you need. All right, guys, so that's the second thing that I think you should be doing. You should stop guessing your score and start getting real feedback. Okay, third thing that you should do, in my opinion, stop using materials that are not authentic. If you have been following me for a while, I keep saying that. Okay, use things that are authentic. Why? There are lots of IELTS websites out there, lots of materials, lots of books. Some tests that are out there, they are too easy, while other tests, they are too difficult. Okay, so what happens is if you choose the materials that are too easy, maybe you'll be getting a higher score. If you choose the materials that are too hard, you might be getting a lower score when you're practicing, right? So you never know your real score. Stick to materials that are authentic, okay? You know the book I use, right? You've seen it before. These are the best ones, okay? And as you can see, authentic examination papers. Authentic. And it's true. I think I told you before that I use this to practice my tunes. I have the whole collection, use them all the time, And I had a student, he did, I think, we met and then we talked about writing. And then he went to do the test. And basically, guys, the writing that we practiced together, like it was so similar to the one that he had on the day of the real test, that he had said, Fabi, basically I just remembered all the feedback you gave me and I wrote it and he got a really good score. Okay, guys, so that's it. So they repeat things, okay? And if it's not exactly the same thing, it will be similar. All right, the style of the test, because sometimes you're practicing with materials that are not that don't look like the IELTS test. And then you practice that and you think the test looks like that, but on the day of the real test, it doesn't. Okay, so it's funny that I said what looks like, because we're thinking about the content of the test itself. However, just being able to look at something and know what it is, it makes a big difference on the day of the test. So let's say that you're practicing with something that with some tests that are not very authentic, that don't look like the real thing. And then you go and you look at it and you practice it, and then on the day of the test, when you look at something, you don't know what it is and you get really confused. That will waste your time. Okay, so if you want to do the IELTS test only once, stop using any kind of materials, okay, and focus on using materials that are authentic, okay, because then you will really know your score. All right, so again, at least my students, okay, guys, usually when they do the test, they don't get a score very different from the practice, because these books are authentic. Okay, so let's say you're practicing with these books, you need a 6 and you're getting a 6. You do the test, you get your 6 and you do it only once. All right, okay, so third thing. Fourth, okay, stop doing the test when you think you should and start doing the test when you are ready. Okay, that's another thing that happens a lot, guys. People say, okay, I'm doing the test in March. Okay, I know that some people, they need to do the test at specific times, okay? I know some people want to do the test to see what it's like, all right? But but it's an expensive test, guys. So to me, I think you should be doing the test when you're ready, all right? And I do feel that sometimes people are different, okay, guys? So I'm just sharing with you here some of the things that happen, okay? People are different. However, I do feel that when you do the test and you don't get the score you need, sometimes your confidence goes down a little bit. Okay, so we have to be very careful with that. That's why I want my students to get the score they need the first time they try. Okay, but I know that sometimes people are like, oh no, I'm just gonna do it to see what it's like. All right, so that's fine too. Okay, or some people have the time pressure. Okay, they say, oh no, I need to get my score by the end of April, so I have to do it next week. Okay, that's fine. But if you have that time, okay, to practice, try to do the test when you're ready. Okay, and how do you know when you're ready? When you're getting the scores that you need, right? So you're practicing, you need a 6, you're practicing this and you're getting a 6. And that's why I said before, it's a great idea to not do it alone, to get some feedback. So you know what you're like in speaking, what you're like in reading, sorry, what you're like in writing. Okay, guys, so yeah, so the best thing you can do is just do it when you're ready. Okay, that will avoid you doing the test multiple times also. Okay, and again, guys, you can know you're ready in some parts of the test, and then if you look for help, people will tell you if you're ready. All right, okay, so that was number 4. Number 5. I know this one is hard to stop doing, okay? And actually, it's really hard on me when people have this problem, okay? But I do think that people should stop doing the IELTS test last minute. Yeah. One thing that will make people do the test multiple times is doing it last minute. Okay, guys, so it is a bit common for me to get messages on WhatsApp, on Instagram, saying, hey, Fabi, I need you to do the test in 1 week. Can you help me? Or I need you to do the test in 2 weeks. Can you help me? It happens quite often. Okay, guys. So, of course, there are people who I will send them the test. They will practice it. We meet, maybe. We talk about the test, and then they go do the test and they get a good score. But that doesn't happen very often. Okay, guys? So most people need some time to practice. All right? If you need a very low score and your English level is good, maybe that's okay, because then you just have to know how the test works. All right? So you can get the score you need. But for some people, they do need to practice a little bit more. Okay? So one thing that will make you do the test multiple times is actually practicing last minute. All right, so definitely, if you can, that's what I say to people, you know, when you hear, oh, you need to do the IELTS test, that's when you should start studying. Okay, guys, yeah, because I feel that the people who get the best scores, stress-free IELTS preparation, are the ones who start in advance. Okay, and I'm not saying 12 months in advance. I'm saying like 3 months in advance, 6 months in advance, not 1 week in advance. Okay, because that will definitely change, okay, the way you look at the test. You won't be as stressed. All right. So definitely the best thing you can do. Okay, so let's do the recap. Okay, so the 5 things that are stopping you from doing the IELTS test only once. So the first thing is stop doing it alone. Okay, when you're doing it alone, you're not getting the right information. You don't know where to look for things. Okay, so you should stop doing that. Number 2, stop guessing your score and start looking for feedback. Okay, get help. Get people to look at your writing. Get people to do the practice test with you. And again, people who know the test, okay? Don't get your friend unless your friend knows the test really well, okay? Get a teacher, an IELTS teacher, an IELTS tutor to help you, okay? Then number 3, stop using materials that are not authentic, okay? If you use materials that are not authentic, you will get scores that are not authentic. So if you use materials, you're getting your score, you think you know what you are, and then you go to the test and you get a score that's completely different. All right? Number 4, stop doing the test when you think you should and start doing the test when you're ready. Okay, so like I said before, a lot of people, if they do the test and they don't get the score they need, sometimes their confidence will be a bit lower. Okay, so that's why I keep pushing my students to do the test only when they're ready. All right, okay. And then, of course, stop doing the test last minute, please. Okay, guys, it's a serious test, and it's a lot of money, you know. So I always say to people, instead of just doing the test, maybe invest a little bit of money on a course, you know, getting some help, and then you just spend a little bit of money on like practicing for the test or preparing for the test, and then you spend the money on the test, and that's it. instead of just maybe trying to do it by yourself, you know, and then you go spend money on the test and then you don't pass and then, oh, I'm gonna do it again and then spend more money on the test and then you think about getting help. Okay, guys, yeah. So, like I said before, the people who are doing the test only ones are the people who are preparing for it. All right, okay. Do you have any questions, guys? Any questions? Yes, I know. I'm gonna drink some water. Thank you. I get excited and I forget. Yeah, I've been a bit sick. And I know when I get sick, that's my throat. It usually gets to my throat. Maybe I talk too much. Well, I'm a teacher, so. Okay, do you guys have any questions for today? Any questions? Any questions? Yes, who said I'm completely new and I want to prepare for the IELTS test. Yeah. So, when are you doing your test? Do you know when you have to do the test? When do you need your score by? What score do you need? The end of the year. Cool. Okay, are you gonna do the academic or general, and what score do you need? So someone asked how long should I prepare? Yeah, so it actually depends on the score that you need. Okay, so so it depends on your level of English and the score that you need, right? So if you need a 6 and you are upper intermediate level, maybe 2 to 3 months will be okay. All right, but I think it really depends on the person and how much time you have to devote to it. I would say 2 to 3 months, it's a good time, okay? But again, it really depends on where you are at your English level and what score you need. If you are at the level, if your level is at the score that you need at the moment, it won't take you that long. All right. However, if you are here and the score you need is here, it might take you a little bit longer. Okay. So a lot of people, they tend to improve reading and listening quite quickly. Speaking and writing might take a little bit longer. I would say 2 to 3 months. I think it's like average, but again, it depends on the person. Okay. Patricia, I hope I answered your question. Okay. So yeah, so you said you want to do it at the end of the year. I don't think it's late, okay? I think that the earlier you start, it's the best, okay? You need minimum 7, okay? Yeah, so with the 7, guys, I feel that a lot of people get stuck in the writing, okay? So if you could start practicing as soon as possible, just go for it, okay? Especially your writing, because as I said before, so we have the productive skills and the receptive skills. So the productive skills are the ones that we do things, which are speaking and writing. And the receptive skills are the ones that we just understand, listening and reading, okay? So these productive skills, the ones that you have to produce, do things, these are the ones that will take you a little bit longer to improve. Again, it depends on the person, guys, okay? I'm just telling you what I've seen from my experience. Okay, but I feel that the average amount of time that people take to improve, anywhere from 1 to 3 months. All right, okay. There's lots of comments here now. Okay. Another person, so Diego says, I haven't been able to take the IELTS test because I don't have work and I have done the test English in the British Council app. Okay, yeah. So Diego, so that means that you're practicing the test on the app. Okay. The British Council app, I feel that the materials are very good there. Okay, the materials are very, very good there. So if you're using it, I think it's a great idea. Keep doing it. Okay, and that will get you a proper score, I think, in my opinion. All right, so just keep practicing that. And again, maybe try to get some help with your speaking and writing, just to make sure you're on the right track. Okay, but yeah, but when you but when you are ready to do the test, then just go ahead and go do it. Okay, but I think if you're practicing on the British Council app, you're doing the right thing. Authentic materials there. Okay, Patricia said, thank you, you're welcome. Someone says, my first time here, welcome. We're talking about the IELTS test. Okay, thank you for the comments, you're welcome. Then said, can you suggest how I should start? Yeah, so just like, what's his name? Diego mentioned, okay? So if you guys are looking for authentic exams, okay, authentic IELTS exams online for free, go to the British Council website, okay? These books, you have to pay for them, okay? But on the Cambridge, on the British Council website, they have some free tests there, and you can start there, okay? And also they have some PDFs which would be based on the paper-based test, and they also have some things that you can click on and you can try the test on the computer, okay? And they have lots of things there, guys. So just go ahead and play with that and you can start. Okay. Yeah, so definitely go there. Okay, so Diego saying I'm B1 intermediate, however, if you like, I'm not improving. Okay. so Diego, yeah, so if you feel like you're not improving, okay, it's maybe because you are not really working on on your weaknesses. All right, so the best thing for you to do, okay, so when you're practicing, just check what you keep getting wrong and try to improve that, try to understand why, okay? That's why maybe getting some help, okay, from a teacher or a tutor would definitely help you, because then maybe something you can see, okay, a mistake that you have that you always make and you can't quite see it, someone will be able to see it, okay? But if you want to keep working by yourself, maybe just try to look for the things that you're getting wrong, okay? But again, remember, Diego, the IELTS test is an English test. Are you working on your English too? Think about that, okay? So maybe you're feeling a bit stuck, either because maybe your your strategies for the IELTS test, they're not working as well as they were, so maybe you have to improve that, or actually you just have to improve your English level. So that's something that you have to think about. Okay, are you studying English, Diego? Okay, another. I have a question. I heard we can give an IELTS test exam online now. Is that correct? What is better? To give the test online or physically? So I'm asking this because I work and I don't have much spare time. Okay, yeah. So, yes, you can do the IELTS test online nowadays. It's the same price, okay? You go there and you book your test and you do the test from home. However, lots of places do not accept the IELTS online test. So, if you want to come to Australia, if you want to immigrate to Australia and they ask you to do the IELTS test and you do the online one, they will not accept it. So I don't think it's better or worse to do the IELTS test online. You have to check if the institution that is asking for your test, if it's immigration, if it's a university, if it's your job, if they accept the online one. Okay? So just be careful with that. Okay? Because I knew that already, but at the workshop that I went to a few weeks ago, that was mentioned again. Yeah. So yes, they do have the online version, but not everyone's accepting it. So just make sure that if you're thinking about doing the online one at home, just make sure that the institution that you're applying for accepts it. Okay. Okay, so I'm from Ecuador and I like to improve my English. Yeah, so there are lots of things you can do. Okay, sorry, to improve your English. Okay, one thing is just being here with us, talking to us. Okay, and maybe doing things in English. All right, there's lots of things you can be doing in English. Okay, one thing that I find quite interesting is that even here in Australia, some of my students, they still have like their phones in their language. You know, that's one thing you can do, just change your phone to English and then you start using your phone in English. Okay, guys, so if you are in a country where English isn't spoken, okay, you have to create opportunities for you to start speaking English and be in contact with English. Okay, so the thing I would suggest is just create situations where you have to use English. All right, that's something that just start there and then let me know how you go. Okay. Okay, so can you please inform, do you share materials for preparation? Yeah, so I don't share materials. Okay, you can go to the British Council website. I think it's Take the IELTS. Okay, just make sure it's a British Council website and then you can go there and just go to Google and say Take the IELTS British Council. Okay, and then you go to Google and then you click on it, probably the first link, Take the IELTS. Okay, and you can get everything from there. It's very easy. Okay. Okay, what else? Okay, you're welcome, you're welcome. Hey, Rafael, how are you? He said, hey, Fabi. Cool. Betsy Trevor, thank you, Rafael. Thank you. All right. Any other questions, guys? Lots of questions today. That's nice. Any other questions? Anything else? All right, cool. So that's it for today. I think those were all the questions that I had today. If for any reason I didn't answer your question, there's lots of comments here. Okay, guys. Oh, it's another question. Okay, how do I know what level I am in order to know how long it'll take me? Okay, so the first thing you can do is go to their website, Take the IELTS British Council, and maybe something you can try is just to do maybe the listening and the reading part, which are the easy ones to get a score for. So you do the reading, you know, and then you check your score, and then you see your score. For example, if you get, let's say, a 5 on the IELTS test, you're usually intermediate level. If you get a 6, upper intermediate level. If you get a 7, advanced. Okay, so that's a way to know your level. Okay, because again, with the IELTS test, guys, everyone will do the same test, right? And each person will get a different score because each person will have a different level. Okay, so to know your level and to have an idea of how long it's going to take you, that's something you can try. Okay, so just go ahead. You can go to that website, let's say do the listening, right? So you do the listening and then you go and you check your score. Oh, I got 30 points. 30 is a 7. 7 is advanced. So at least in listening, you are advanced. Okay, so that's a good way to know your level at the moment. Okay, that's a very good way, actually. I hope I answered your question, Sen. Another one. Okay, yes, so thank you very much. It was a lot of time with you and I cleared my doubts. That's good, guys. I'm glad I can help. I'm glad I can help. All right, okay, so I'm gonna go. All right, but again, if you have any questions, send me, you can send me a message on here on Instagram. Okay. If it takes me a little bit longer to answer, it's because it's usually on the request side and I forget to look at that sometimes, but I'm getting better at it. Okay, so if it takes me 1 or 2 days to reply, please don't give up. Okay, or maybe just send another message. Hey Fabi, did you forget about me? Okay, or something like that. All right. Okay, so I'm gonna go, but I'll be back on Thursday again. All right, okay. So I'm gonna go now, but I'll see you next time.